Can you imagine being sold by your own family for a debt that was never yours? Your entire future traded away like a coin, your dreams crushed before they ever had a real chance to grow. At just 18 years old, Evelyn stood on the edge of a life she never chose, her name signed away in a cruel contract sealed with gold, desperation, and the quiet collapse of everything she believed. Her father's gambling had swallowed everything they owned, turning laughter into silence, warmth into fear, and love into something distant, fragile, and painfully uncertain with each passing day. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments what time is it and where are you watching from. Let's start. The debt was massive, owed to a man so powerful that saying no was never an option, and his demand was not money or land, but something far more personal and deeply devastating. He wanted a wife, a young bride, to sit beside him as he faced death, and Evelyn was chosen as the price to erase a debt she never created and never deserved to carry. They said the Duke was 90 years old, sick and fading, hidden deep inside a cold and forgotten castle where even hope struggled to survive beneath the weight of fear and silence. Her father promised she would be a widow soon, rich and free. But to Evelyn, it sounded like a carefully disguised sentence she could never escape, no matter how much she wished. The days blurred together as she was taken from her home, each mile pulling her further from the life she once knew, and closer to a fate she never wanted to accept. The Hawthorne estate rose like a monster against the sky, its towering stone walls cold and unwelcoming beneath a dark and endless sky filled with quiet dread. There were no celebrations, no music, no joy, only silence and the echo of a life she was about to lose forever without ever truly having a choice. Her dress was gray and lifeless, mirroring the emptiness that had slowly begun to grow inside her chest with every passing hour of quiet fear. The chapel felt like a tomb, filled with shadows instead of warmth, a place where beginnings felt like endings, and hope seemed completely out of reach. A priest waited nervously, a lawyer watched coldly, and two servants stood silent, refusing to meet her eyes as if they already knew her fate. Then she saw him at the altar, hunched and fragile, wrapped in layers like a man already standing at death's door and barely holding on. His skin looked thin and pale, his breath weak and rattling, sending a deep and chilling fear through her body that she could not ignore. But the most unsettling detail was the mask covering his face, a porcelain shell with hollow eyes that made him seem less human and more like something haunting. Each step she took toward him felt heavier than the last, as if the ground itself was trying to pull her back from the fate waiting ahead. Her heart pounded loudly in her chest, echoing through the silent chapel like a warning she could hear but could not follow. She thought of her father's words and felt guilt and resentment twist painfully inside her heart, pulling her in two directions at once. The ceremony began, the priest's voice distant and hollow, speaking of love and union that felt like a cruel and bitter mockery. When asked if she accepted him, her voice trembled, but the crushing weight of her family's survival forced the words out. "I do," she whispered, and in that moment it felt like something inside her broke completely beyond repair. The priest turned to the Duke to complete the vow, But suddenly, a violent and terrifying cough shattered the silence of the chapel. The Duke's body shook uncontrollably, the sound wet and disturbing, making Evelyn flinch as fear rushed sharply through her veins. A trembling hand slowly rose toward his face, fingers carefully reaching for the edge of the porcelain mask in a slow and deliberate motion. Time seemed to freeze in place as everyone watched in silence, the air heavy with fear, confusion, and unbearable anticipation. Then, in one smooth and sudden motion, the mask came off, revealing a truth no one in that room was prepared to witness. The man beneath was not old, not weak, not dying, but young and strong, standing in complete contrast to everything they believed. His features were sharp and defined, his posture straightened instantly, and his presence filled the room with an entirely different energy. But it was his eyes that held Evelyn captive, piercing blue and filled with emotion, guilt, and a deep sadness that could not be hidden. The illusion shattered in an instant, leaving behind confusion, shock, and a rising anger that burned deeply inside Evelyn's chest. This was not the life she had accepted, not the fate she had prepared herself for, but something far more complicated and dangerous. With a single gesture, the Duke dismissed everyone, his voice strong and clear, leaving them alone in the cold and silent chapel. He introduced himself as Nathaniel, his tone softening as he admitted that what he had done was wrong in more ways than one. Evelyn could not speak, her thoughts tangled in disbelief as she struggled to understand the truth unfolding before her eyes. Nathaniel began to explain everything, revealing a story filled with betrayal, danger, and a past that had forced him into deception. His cousin Marcus had always been jealous of his title, his power, and everything that came with being the Duke of Hawthorne. A year ago, Nathaniel had fallen deeply in love with a woman named Cecilia, someone who saw him beyond his title and wealth. Their happiness was destroyed when Marcus arranged a deadly accident that took her life and left Nathaniel broken and alone. Marcus left no proof behind, only a quiet confession without witnesses, turning grief into a weapon Nathaniel could never fight. That moment changed everything, forcing Nathaniel to see the danger surrounding him and the threat that constantly followed him. He realized that any woman he loved would become a target, a weakness that Marcus would use without hesitation or mercy. So he created the illusion of illness, hiding behind the image of a dying old man to move unnoticed and protect himself. The plan required a wife, someone who could secure his position, but remain distant from the emotional vulnerability he feared. Evelyn's situation made her the perfect choice, someone desperate enough to accept the marriage without questioning the truth. He admitted he never intended to hurt her this deeply, but he believed there was no other way for him to survive. Standing there, Evelyn felt her anger crash with a growing understanding of the pain hidden behind his actions and choices, as if her emotions were being pulled in two completely opposite directions at once. She was no longer facing a monster, but a man trapped by circumstances just as deeply as she had been trapped by her own family, leaving her uncertain about what was truly right or wrong anymore. Her future had shifted again, no longer a quiet end, but a dangerous beginning, filled with secrets, risk, and uncertainty that stretched far beyond
passing by,
Fear
standing outside your love story, while my own heart asks me why. I'm the silence in the background, the one you'll never choose, loving you without belonging, with everything to lose.
Far more unpredictable and intense, something that could either destroy her or completely reshape her life. Nathaniel was not her enemy, but he was not yet someone she could trust, leaving her
Maybe
caught
someday I'll
between
stop
doubt
hoping,
and possibility,
stop
as
searching
every
your
answer
eyes
he
for
gave
me.
only
But
created
until
more
then I'll
questions
stay a
inside her
shadow,
mind.
where your
The
heart
shadow of
will
Marcus
never
loomed
be.
over them both, a constant reminder that danger was
I
never far
quietly
and could
keep
strike
watching you,
anytime,
like a
turning even
stranger
silence
passing
into
by,
something that felt
standing outside your love story,
Evelyn
while
understood
my own
that her
heart
role
asks
had
me
changed,
why.
that she
I'm
was
the
no longer a
silence in
passive
the
sacrifice,
background,
but a part
the
of
one
something
you'll
much
never
bigger,
choose,
something involving
loving
power,
you without
lies,
belonging,
and consequences she never agreed to.
with
The question now
everything
was
to
whether she would
lose.
stand beside Nathaniel or protect herself from further pain and betrayal, knowing that either choice would come with its own kind of risk and loss. Every choice she made from this moment forward would shape not only her future, but his as well, in ways she could not predict, binding their lives together in ways neither of them fully controlled. She had been sold, but she refused to remain powerless, determined to find strength in a situation she never chose, even if that strength had to be built from fear and uncertainty itself.
Even knowing
The chapel that once felt like a prison
you may
now
never
felt like the
return.
beginning of a path she could not yet fully understand,
I wait.
as if the same walls that trapped her were now marking a strange new beginning. Nathaniel watched her carefully, knowing that trust could not be forced and would have to be earned slowly over time, especially after everything he had done
Your
to
shadow
bring her into
lingers
this
in the
situation.
silence,
Evelyn took
like
a
a
slow
song
breath,
that never
steadying
ends.
herself as she
Every
faced the
corner
reality of
holds
the
your
life
memory.
now unfolding
Every
before
night
her
I
eyes.
break again.
Trying to hold on to
I
the
know
smallest
time
piece
has
of control
pulled you
she
farther
still had left.
to a place I
She knew
cannot
walking
reach,
away was not an
but my
option,
heart
but how
still
she moved
leaves the
forward
door
was
open
entirely up
for
to
a
her
dream
own strength
beyond
and will,
belief.
and that realization felt both
I'm still
terrifying
waiting
and
for your
strangely empowering
footsteps,
at the
though I know they'll
The weight
never
of her
come.
past no longer
Holding
defined
on to broken
replaced by the
echoes of a
uncertainty
love
of a future she
already
would have to
gone.
navigate.
I'm still waiting for your return,
Without any clear
though the
message
stars say it's
In
untrue.
that moment,
Somewhere
she made a
deep
silent
inside
decision
this
to
broken
survive.
heart,
No
I
matter what
still
challenges or dangers stood in her
belong
way,
to you.
even if survival meant becoming someone she never
People
thought
tell
she
me
could be.
keep on
The
moving,
storm between them
that
was
some
far from
endings
over,
must
but within
remain.
it lay the
But how do I
possibility
stop
of something neither of
believing
them
when
expected.
your name still
Something
calls
fragile
my
that could either break
pain?
instantly or
I'm
go
still
so
waiting for your footsteps,
forged
though I
not
know
love,
they'll never
but from
come.
necessity.
Holding on to broken echoes of the love already gone. I'm still waiting for your return, though the stars say it's untrue.
As the chapel
Somewhere
doors
deep
remained closed
inside
behind
this
them,
broken
a new
heart,
chapter
I
began,
still
filled with tension,
belong
secrets,
to
and uncertain hope that neither of them could fully see the Evelyn's story was no longer one of sacrifice alone, but one of transformation, strength, and a will to rise above fate, even when fate
Maybe
itself seemed
hope is
determined to
just
pull
a
her
prison.
down. The
Maybe
question
love
remained
can
whether
blind
this
the
fragile
soul.
alliance would
But
crumble
even
under pressure
knowing
or
you
grow
won't
into
find me,
something truly
I still
unbreakable,
wait
shaped by
here
everything they were about to endure together. With danger
I'm
approaching,
still
trust
waiting
hanging by
for
a
your
thread, their
footsteps,
journey
though I
together
know they'll
will Neither
holding on to broken echoes of a love already gone. I'm still waiting for your return, though the stars say it's untrue. Somewhere deep inside this broken heart, I still
let us know your thoughts and stay tuned for the next part of this story, where everything will change once again in ways neither Evelyn nor Nathaniel are prepared for.